grown. And social media, yeah, right? Social media is the perfect
Wait, say that
example of
again.
that.
We're intentionally connected to
With
people we should have outgrown.
That's right.
Okay, wait. We are the only wait, why are we
We're
the
one of the
only?
well, we're the one of the first generations because of things like Facebook and Instagram, right? If you're in your 30s and your 40s, even your 50s, you are still connected with people. This is brand new. For somebody in their 60s to see the grandkids of somebody they went to high school with and to know those children's names and what they look like and what Nancy did for Thanksgiving with her family, and you haven't actually physically laid eyes on Nancy in 45 years. This is the first generation. We are the first generation that are connected with people that we've never were meant to be connected to.
Wow, girl, that is so good.
Yeah.
That is
It's
so
true
good. I've
though.
never thought of that. Yeah, if you think of our parents, none of them talk to anybody unless they
No.
still live in the same little town, which maybe. Um,
But not common, right?
no,
And so if
no.
you're posting with that person in mind, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong, girl. That person isn't even supposed to motherfucking be there.
No, no. That person wasn't supposed to be there after the age of 18. But here you are at 57 thinking about Nancy's grandkids again and how you don't want to share your offer because what the heck is Nancy going to think? Well, Nancy's not paying your bills, right? And prior to
Wow.
Facebook, we knew that and we understood that and we didn't care what Nancy was doing. We literally didn't care what Nancy was doing because her life didn't affect our life. And now we're muting our own greatness, our own potential to help people and to share because what's Nancy going to think?
Wow. This is like a little TMI, but I'm going to share it anyways. I was telling somebody a story a few months ago about how when I first started I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. So there's all kinds of ridiculous things that I've thought of. One of them was online sex toy website.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be like two verticals. It was going to be like how, like the actual thing for sale, and then the how to use it. So you could like subscribe to like videos with like sex therapists actually showing you, not on real people, but like showing you how to use and how to, maybe some of it on real people. But anyways, I was telling this idea to somebody, I don't remember who. And they said, dude, your friends are gonna like if you do that, because I was talking about it in real life, like I was gonna do it right there and then and there. They're like, your friends are gonna freak out when they see you getting into this. Friends and family are gonna freak out when they see you getting into this genre. And that was a lot of the reason why I shifted. It hadn't even been a thought of mine because like
Mm-hmm.
everyone has sex. Everybody like gets if you're not using toys, you're probably wearing something sexy or a sexy perfume. It might not be like everyone's getting tied up, but we're all doing something, right? We wear a little outfit, we got a little perfume, we got a little whatever, there's something. Um so anyways, to your point, exactly what you said, worried about
Mm-hmm.
people I'm not even supposed to be talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah, we value the opinions of people that don't give a shit about us otherwise, except to judge us in the online space.
Yes.
I don't get a Christmas card from Nancy.
No Christmas cards.
Why am I caring that Nancy's going to be offended? Right. And listen, this is true with my immediate family too. These are people that I actually see every day. Like also my husband has family that we are very, very close to that don't approve of the fact that I'm always selling online. They're not paying my bills. I can't say that loud enough. They are not responsible for my personal feelings of fulfillment, my professional goals, or my sense of accomplishment.
I love
So
that.
if they think that social media is used to share what they ate last night and post pictures of their dog, that's awesome. That's not what I use it for.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So much goodness. I am obsessed.
Isn't it interesting though? And I don't think people really understand the power of just one word. Isn't it interesting that the feedback that you received stopped you from moving forward with that?
Yes. I still might do it one day. I have all of my business ideas written down.
Yeah, could be a
So
multi-million dollar idea,
100%.
right? But
100%.
isn't it so interesting that and it's not even the feedback, it's that judgment,
Yeah.
right? We're so scared to share who we are. And by the way, and this is a huge by the way, you have permission to change who you are and to shift what you believe in.
Yeah.
I turn a lot of people off because I shift what I believe in. I have shifted very strongly the things that I believed in even 5 years ago to now. And so people that knew me then are turned off by the things that I'm sharing now. And that's okay. The way I see it, oh, go ahead.
I love this. I was just listening to a podcast not too long ago, obsessed with podcasts, not too long ago, where they were talking about somebody. They were like ripping on somebody because they were like, oh, yeah, 10 years ago, they were saying this, and 5 years is it's changed, blah, blah, blah. And I was getting so mad. I'm like, dude, we're supposed to be on a journey of
Mhm.
personal development. We're supposed to be evolving as human beings, and to expect somebody to have the same exact thought process in the current time of all the stuff they've gone through over the last 10 or 15 years or whatever, and for it to be the same as it was 15 years, they were like shaming the person.
Right.
I'm like, how dare you? One. And then two, this is why people have such a hard time getting on, because they're so nervous that they're going to say something and they don't know if they can commit 100% for the rest of their life to that thing, that they don't want to say it out loud. So what you're saying, you can change.
Yeah. Well, most importantly, you have to give yourself permission to change. And for me, I do that I do that publicly. I've had my breakdowns publicly. I've had my shifts in beliefs and spirituality publicly.
Love that.
Because I know for me that my message isn't just for me. I know that my messaging has the opportunity and the potential to help another woman not feel alone. I know that my messaging and what the words that I write has the opportunity to help another woman not feel shame, right? Perhaps increase her own spiritual journey or give herself permission to not be a perfect person. And so I'm willing, the way I look at the things that I share online, I'm willing to share my shame so that another woman knows that she's not alone in her own, even
Hmm.
if it's different than mine, even if
Wow.
it's different. You,
So good.
you're going to piss people off when you are stubborn in your beliefs, but
Yeah.
you also have the permission, again, and I'm using that word intentionally, to be stubborn in your beliefs one day and then shift them and be stubborn in your new beliefs too. And the right people always seem to pop up at the right times, even if they weren't your previous audience.
Absolutely. I was listening to something regarding Kim Kardashian, and they were talking about how she didn't really take off. Like the Kardashians really didn't take off, especially Kim, until they started being so like aggressive with their point of view that it started to piss people off. And once it started to piss off like a certain amount of individuals, almost like the vigor or the energy of that, like the articles, the posts, the tagging, the energy of the negativity around their opinions is what actually had them take off, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. Not that
My,
you're trying to get haters,
no.
but like having a stance, saying things definitively is what creates the conversation.
Yeah, my perspectives. I'll add on to that because my perspective's a little different. To me, they took off when they were willing to be sexier, right? And that's what pisses people
Oh.
off. These girls, when they were
Well, that's kind
younger,
of the same thing though, no?
right? No, I agree. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But when they were younger, when they just looked like regular girls, we didn't care as much about them. But when they were flaunting their sexuality, when they were flaunting the fact that they have beautiful bodies in people's faces, now all of a sudden we were interested. Whether we were interested from places of judgment or we were interested in places of wanting to support them, we all have made them billionaires, right? But they didn't
Absolutely.
do it by being regular peacekeeping people. They did it by leaning into the things that were possibly exciting them at the time.
Yeah, more risky.
Right. Right. That's the word.
That's
That's the word.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of put that together, right? Risky sexuality.
Well, sexuality aside, even because this is for anybody, you have to be so stubborn in your beliefs, so stubborn in what you're sharing that you're
Oh,
willing
yeah.
to take the risk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of individuals who have done well for themselves and they're not wearing skin tight dresses and getting butt fillers.
I've not done the butt fillers, but listen, I've definitely posted the thirst trap pictures on my own social media because I am okay, and this is the way I see myself. I'm okay being a controversial figure. I'm not okay making women feel worse about themselves. So when I share, for the most part, I share in first person. I'm intentional about sharing my perspective so that it doesn't come off as judgment. Now, that being said, even though I do that, people are in my comments all day long judging me for what I said. Even though I'm intentional, I use first person. I say, this is my perspective. This is my truth. People
Yeah.
still got something to say.
Yeah.
Your perspective, your stubborn perspective is going to offend the wrong people, and it's going to bring the right people into your world.
Yeah. I just did that. I did a post on my son, and I'm pro-choice. And I had, I was a single mom, no help, so there was a point when I was first pregnant where I had to decide, am I going to keep the baby or am I going to abort the baby? It was a real conversation I had. It was a real story. And before I wrote the post, I had the beginning, like, trigger warning, abortion, pro-choice. Do not read if you're going to be offended by
Oh
any of
yeah,
these words. And yeah, same. Not a lot though. There was maybe 2 women who got like seriously offended
yeah,
by the, oh, look at you, you kept your baby, therefore what? You're got, flaunting it. And I'm like, dude, did you read? I'm pro-choice.
yeah.
Having the baby is one of the choices.
But by the way,
Pro-choice does not mean abortion.
right.
Like, people don't understand that. Pro-choice means you believe in the choice. Having the baby is one of the choices. It's so weird to me.
Yeah. In that messaging alone, I remember that post. That was very courageous, right? So what I love about what you shared is that you helped at least one woman not feel alone in her choices,
Yeah.
right? Regardless of what her choice was.
Yeah.
Your willingness to share that helped at least one woman feel seen and feel safe and feel supported. And that's really what this is all about. The social media, the websites, like, we're on earth to help other people feel better in their pain,
Exactly.
right? Always.
Yeah.
But what you did really masterfully in that messaging is you said, don't read if this is going to offend you. Do you know what everybody's going to do next?
Yeah.
They're going to read.
Yeah.
They're going to read because they're
I
like,
know, girl. I
what's she
know.
about to say? Right. That's mastery. That's mastery in your messaging.
Yeah.
Don't read if this is going to offend you. Well, now I want to know if you're going to offend me. I need to know, like, right? It's this insatiable desire of we need to know.
What is wrong with us?
Well,
Girl.
listen, social media just exacerbates all of the things that are wrong with us as human beings, but it gives us these wonderful opportunities to connect and to be of service and to help and to create community. And that's really, at the end of the day, what it's all about. If you are not stubborn in your beliefs, if you're not willing to share them unapologetically, if you're flippant because you don't want to piss people off, you're not going to rise to the gift that we have of being able to help people.
Yeah.